All right, all right, all right. This is absolute embarrassment to my profession. Here we are, almost 8 minutes late, and I'm mortified. Good evening, good day, good afternoon. No one's watching in the afternoon, are they? Larry O'Connor here, and as you know, I'm a lifelong Washington Commanders fan. From the day I was born, I was swaddled in a Washington Commanders blanket, swaddled up. Hail to the Commanders. We are having some technical. I was very excited about a long form Larry situation with my buddy and rival Chris Stigall, but we're having some tech issues. I'm hoping. Well, I just spoke with him. He is having some internet issues over at his incredibly high tech office and studio broadcast area in Kansas City, or the outskirts of Kansas City. So hopefully we will connect with Chris. But I couldn't make you wait any longer. I mean, I'm here, and let's face it, you're really here just to talk to me and to see me. And it's been a while since we've done a live stream because it's been very busy. So listen, let's just turn this into a bit of an Ask Me Anything. If you're watching on Locals, I'm checking out the chat room there. Go for it. I'll see you. If you're watching on Facebook, ditto. Facebook? Yeah, you heard me. Facebook. And if you're watching on YouTube, ditto there as well. I'll see your comments. If you're commenting at Locals, I do not have the ability yet to put your comment or question up on the screen, but that's cool. I'll read it out to everybody. And of course, Locals gets priority because you've shown me the money, and I appreciate that. If you're commenting and questioning on YouTube and Facebook, throw it up here, and we will have a great conversation. In fact, there's our pal Holly Bacon. Holly Bacon, talk about old school, talk about throwback, talk about all the way back. Holly Bacon is watching us over on YouTube. Hello, Holly. Hello, Holly. Sarah is here. Meredith is not signed on, but she's watching, I think, too. And everybody says hi. Hi, Holly Bacon. Oh, my gosh. We have bacon, and we love bacon. I've decided that when Chris Stigall calls me to tell me that he can't connect, I'm going to go ahead and put the phone call on the mic here, and we will embarrass him. We will embarrass him. You can ask me anything, and I will answer your question. And I will also tell you the story about our incredible excursion down at Mar-A-Lago. Adjacent. Our incredible, high-profile, glamorous, not very exclusive, invite-only, red carpet event down at Mar-A-Lago neighborhood. It was quite a time. Meredith and I flew down to the red carpet premiere for Dinesh D'Souza's 2000 Mules at Mar-a-Lago with the president of the the former president, some would say still president, although technically he's not in the White House, so he's not the president, with President Trump. And should I tell the whole story if you haven't heard? The plan was great. Get down there on Wednesday after the show, do the show, off the air at 9 a.m. Excuse me. It's a morning show, 9 a.m. Feels like p.m. We get off the air at 9 a.m. Yes, ma'am, Holly Bacon. I will give that beautiful wife of mine a big old hug from you. Just a hug? Well, I guess if it's from you, it would get weird if it got anything more than a hug, I suppose. See, it's already gotten weird. Holly Bacon brings out the weird in me. This is why Meredith doesn't sign on. This is why she's already walked away. She's already put me on mute. Absolutely, Holly. So the plan is we do the show on Wednesday morning. The premiere is that night, like a 5:30 red carpet, 7 o'clock remarks from the president, 7:30 movie. Watch the movie. I think it's a little over an hour long, I think. Watch the movie, schmooze with friends after the party, go back to the hotel, go to sleep, wake up, do Thursday morning's show from the hotel. We're all set up. That's the beauty. The one great, I try to find the sunny side of everything. And the sunny side of the pandemic is radio people can do their shows anywhere. Absolutely anywhere. It's wonderful. I do it from here. By the way, do you like the new setup? I've reoriented things here in the home studio for those of you who have been watching the live streams up until now. And I'm not a fan of the glasses. Oh, I guess I need the glasses for the comments. All right, I'll leave the glasses on for now. So, gosh, where were I? Oh, where were I? So we're headed. I have not even started drinking. That's the problem. Could we get a glass of wine here? Could we get like a big gulp of bourbon? Okay. And then I'll be able to do stream of conscious. Because as you can tell, I prepped for a monologue and a Q&A. I did. Thank you. I didn't prep at all for an interview with Chris Stigall. No, that I didn't prep for that. I prepped for this, as you could obviously tell. So anyway, then I'm going to do the show Thursday because we figure we're flying down to Mar-A-Lago-ish. Fly down to Mar-A-Lago, and we're going to do the premiere. We're going to do the show from there, and then why fly right back on a Thursday? I mean, we're in West Palm Beach, Florida. We're in Mar-A-Lagoville, adjacent blocks away from Mar-A-Lago. We're down there. Why not enjoy Florida, right? Because you get off the air at 9 a.m. and you got all day in West Palm Beach, Florida. Why wouldn't you do that? That's what we said. We asked ourselves that. Why wouldn't we do that? Going down for the event, sticking around. So that's what we did. So we actually left. We had to come back. We had an event on Saturday we had to do back up here in the nation's capital. So we float. We do our show Wednesday morning. We fly down Wednesday morning. We get to Florida. We're going to do the Mar-A-Lago sorta event. We're going to do the show Thursday morning, do the show Friday morning from the hotel, and we've got all day Thursday and Friday to do other things, other Florida things. Like run around licking virus-infected doorknobs without a mask or a vaccine. That's what you do in Florida now, right? And wrestle gators. Oh, hey, is that bourbon? Oh, you brought the wine instead. Oh, hi, Sarah. Would you like to say hello to the whole? Look who's here. It's Sarah. Usually you see her on the camera and sort of messing around, but she's doing a live support system here. We should send you over to Stigall's house, I think. Yeah. How do you like the setup? Is this better? I need better lighting. And we need to do something with the wall.
And this is awkward. The shadow.
What is? It's a lamp. So what that is a lamp. And it looks weird, doesn't it?
Camera is inner.
I have an inner camera. You know what? It has an auto zoom thing. Should we? How do we turn that off?
I have no idea.
It's a hardware thing.
That's what Tommy said. He's like, you can turn that off.
Can you? All right. Thanks. We've been working. We've been efforting. All right. All right. I'm done. What are you drinking? What are you drinking?
This is a vodka mango.
Vodka mango. You're doing the vodka mango thing again, huh?
It's very refreshing. It's hot outside. So.
It's hot in here. Buttoned? Why did we get all humid? Whoa, you got some.
I think I'm buttoned on the wrong button.
Booby.
I am.
We got boobs.
My shirt's buttoned on the wrong button.
We have not been drinking. I promise. This is my first drink of the day. Cheers, everybody. All right. So this is feeling very stage right show. It's because Holly Bacon's here.
It is. Hi, Holly.
Hi, Holly Bacon.
Hi, Holly. All right. I'm going back upstairs to watch.
Bye, we were just ragging on Tony Katz earlier today.
I know.
Speaking of Holly Bacon. So I've got my my sainted mother and father-in-law over, and Tony Katz calls Sarah, right? You can verify this story.
Should I stay for the story?
You should stay for this story. Okay. So I'll get back to Mar-A-Lago.
Right.
Adjacent.
Trump can wait.
Yeah. Oh, was Trump there? I wouldn't know. So my sainted mother and father-in-law are in town. And they are sainted. I mean, they're holy. They walk around with
very sweet, like
halos.
Actual halos.
Yeah, it's absolutely going on. And Tony Katz calls you.
Yes, he does.
You work with Tony. You work with multiple radio personalities.
I run digitals.
Actually,
for a lot of talk personalities.
Talk personalities. Thank you, because it's not radio. You're with with spoken word content creators.
Yes. Spoken
word digital content creator. Personalities. Sarah works with many of them, including Tony Katz, the aforementioned Tony Katz. So we're sitting there.
And you.
And sure, me. Yeah. So
when you
Tony calls.
To work with.
Sarah's phone is ringing and it says Tony Katz. So I pick up the phone and I say, Sarah Smith's office. And he hangs up. He recognizes my voice.
Well, I mean, obviously.
And he's so dumbfounded by this moment that he hangs up. So then we called him, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
We showed him. We called him back, and Tony's like hello? And I said, yes, I believe you were calling Sarah Smith. May I ask who's calling, please? And what did he say? You could hear it.
I sure did. I mean,
he shouted at me. You know that I don't respond well to shouting.
Right.
And I hear Tony Katz, beloved radio personality,
absolutely beloved,
in Indianapolis. I hear Tony Katz shouting something, fuck something.
Obscenity.
There were F words involved, a string of F words, and he bellows. Tony Katz bellows. His show, he does. He's an Italian Jew, is what he is, and he does this. He says, "Hey, I don't want a meatball. I want a matzo ball." That's what he does.
Right, exactly.
That's racist.
Just a little okay.
I would like to apologize now to the Italian American community because that was rude. So he starts screaming obscenities with my mother-in-law right there, and
Right
she does
there.
not hear that sort of thing nor abide by it. And it was very, very
You're
rude.
lucky he wasn't on speaker.
It's true. And then it just spiraled downhill from there.
I took
Thank
him
God
outside.
you did. She grasped the phone from me,
and I said that enough is
before
enough.
it got ugly. So
Enough
that's
is
all right. You may
I
leave
really
now.
like this setup.
Thank you for the wine. This is better,
You're
isn't
welcome.
it? This is
I'll
good.
keep an eye on you when you're ready for a bourbon. We'll bring you.
Thank you. There will be bourbon involved because
All right,
I'm doing the show.
Come on, Chris.
Yeah, where's
Get it
Stigall?
together, Chris.
That's I don't need Stigall.
I know you don't.
This was honestly. Usually, I get more people viewing by now.
Right.
The fact that I said Stigall was coming has repelled my.
People aren't
We should
fine,
redo the graphic and represent this now as what people want, which is me
which is you.
and no Stigall.
Right.
Actually, you don't even have to say me. You just have to say there will be no Chris Stigall.
Right. And
Boom.
The floodgates will open.
Floodgates open.
Amazing.
All right, so we get down to Florida.
Yeah.
And we're back to, okay, so we get down to Florida. I was being very flamboyant. I'm sorry. I get emotional about these things. So we get to Florida. And it's a little hectic. As I just explained, I'm on the air till 9. Our flight leaves at 11. We land in West Palm Beach around 1. And then we've got, 4.5 hours, maybe 5 hours to get out of the airport, get to the hotel, maybe rest a little since I've been up since 3:15 a.m. And then, how do you say, get showered and presentable, not just presentable, not just dressed, not just wearing a Washington Commanders hat because I am a lifelong Washington Commanders fan, but you got to look nice. It's a black tie situation. Did I mention this is black tie? Black tie, red carpet, world premiere, Dinesh D'Souza, 2000 Mules at Mar-A-Lago with the President of the United States. You're not going to show up like a schlub. It takes a little while. This doesn't happen all by itself. This takes a village. So we're a little stressed. We're not really stressed, but we know that everything has to go right for this schedule and this plan to work out. Yes, probably we should have flown down the night before. But we didn't. We can't all be Charlie Kirk. I mean, we can't. Undeniable fact. So what is Kate? Kate is laughing her ass off. It must be about the Tony Katz situation. Yeah. And there's a rarity. Tommy says, let's go. So we fly down. Everything works out. The plane, it's an American Airlines flight, Reagan Airport to West Palm Beach, and it's like a who's who, mostly of Salem and Town Hall Media because Salem produced the show. But it's a who's who of the right of center media realm in Washington, D.C. And somehow I got on board as well. It's a who's who and a who the hell is he is pretty much how the flight was. It's like you're like, oh, I know him. And then if I started talking, they'd know me. And then immediately flip to sports talk. It's just how it works. So we fly down. We actually land right on time. We've got our suit. We did not check bags, of course. We're no fools. We get our Uber. We get there. We get to our place. We're in, and we're actually on schedule. Everything's working fine. Everything's working good. So we set up. I do a quick test back to the WMAL studios to make sure I can do the radio show. Everything's working great. Everything sounds great. Microphone's working. We got it all set up. We relax. Meredith and I are like, oh my God, everything's worked perfectly. Everything has worked perfectly according to plan. It's fantastic. How great is this? So we, that was the end of that, by the way. The whole everything is working perfectly according to plan. Pretty much that part of the story is done. That's so if you wanted to hear the feel good, perfect, wonderful story of Larry and Meredith and our adventure down at Mar-A-Lago adjacent, you might as well just stop right now because now's where it gets just terrific. That's right, I said Meredith. She's not a fan of Meredith. I like it. I think it's a thing. Can you guys make Meredith happen? I've been trying to make Meredith happen. So, hey, look, Chris Stigall still isn't here. So, did he at least text me? He said, "Give me 5 minutes," and now I got nothing. It's all right. I'm fine. I don't need him. So we yes. So we get down where everything's fine. Everything tests out fine. Everything's perfect. So what do we do? Well, we do exactly what we should do. We nap a little. Take a little nap, rest and relax, rejuvenate. We got to recharge. Rest, relax, rejuvenate, and recharge. I didn't plan that, but sometimes you have a gift. And because we're going to get dressed up, we know it's going to be a late night. Now, we don't know it's going to be a super late night, but we expect it to be a somewhat late night. Now, the good news about doing the show from the hotel the next day is that buys me like an extra hour and 15 minutes of sleep because I don't have to drive anywhere. I mean, I could literally just roll out of bed, go to the desk, do about 10 minutes of show prep. You're live on the air. It's just that. It's not quite that simple, but it's close. So we know we're going to have a late night. So we're doing our rest, relaxation, whatever things I said just now. And then we get ready. And, it's a hotel, so we don't have a whole lot of space to work with for two people, two grown-ups getting ready for a black tie thing, but we make it work. Not our first rodeo. Meredith and I, Meredith looks stunning, by the way. She's got a black velvet, like halter jumpsuit thing going on, just French kiss stuff going on there. I got my I've been doing like a especially when it's like an event. Because I've embraced the radio guy thing. Here's the great thing about being in radio. Really low bar. Really, really, really low expectations. And I meet those low expectations consistently. So they don't expect me to show up in Armani tux, right? I've got a nice tuxedo jacket. I got my shirt. I got the tie going. And I'm not going to lie, I wore black jeans. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing about wearing black jeans. No one's looking at my butt. No one. No. Not even Tony Katz. Maybe Tony Katz. But most people are not looking at my butt. I walk in with Meredith. I walk in with the blonde, with the halter and and no one's looking at me. They don't care. They see me in a black jacket, white shirt, and the black tie, and to them it's like, oh, he's in a tux. That's all that matters. Honestly, don't have to have anything going on. And thankfully, I have nothing going on from the waist down. So I got my black jeans. I'm set. I'm fine. Meredith looks exquisite, absolutely terrific. So we get we're actually at this point, we're running a little early. Believe it or not, with that schedule that I just laid out and how tight everything is, we're actually running ahead of schedule. So I says to Meredith, I says, hey, why don't we just get the Uber now? What could go wrong if you show up at Mar-A-Lago early, right? I mean, the worst thing that's going to happen is you get a little extra time to sort of, who doesn't want to explore Mar-A-Lago? I've never been there. A lot of my colleagues and friends and political people in DC, for the last year or so, they've been making what I like to refer to as the pilgrimage. They're like, they go down to Mar-a-Lago so that they can get a picture of the exiled president in his jungle retreat down in Mar-a-Lago, and then they put it on their social media. They go down there so that they can get the picture that they can tweet or post on social media, and everyone will be like, oh my God, you got to go to bed. We're not going to that's not our style. We don't go for the pilgrimage. We don't go to kiss the ring. Now, if we go down there for a work event, if it's a legitimate work event that we should be there for, which this was, then we go. And it lined up some interviews as well and some meetings, and it just makes sense. So we figure we've never been there before. We're running early. Let's head over. Worst thing that's going to happen is we have some time to explore Mar-a-Lago. Who doesn't want to do that? So that's what we do. We get a little Uber, and we're about 30 minutes early. We're running 30 minutes early at this point. We get over to Mar-a-Lago, and we get up to the gate area there, and we're here for the movie event. We're here for the red carpet thing, and the gate guard says, "You're early." Kind of like that. Just, you're early, like that. And we said, well, yes, we are. Can't come in early. Yeah, go back around, circle back around, get back, do a little Jensaki, just to circle back like Pisaki, and you can come back in half an hour. You can't come here early. No early arrivals in Mar-a-Lago. Not happening. We don't want anyone to be. ahead of schedule. So we say to the Uber driver, we says, "Is there a place around here where we can go for a drink? You just want a drink? We'd like a drink. Let's get a glass of wine." We had a very similar to this. In fact, it looked a lot like this. So he drops us off at honestly kind of a divey joint. So he drives us just over the bridge from West Palm Beach onto the mainland. They call West Palm Beach the actual they call it the island because it's surrounded by water. A lot of people don't know that. It has earned the right to be called the island. So you go over a little drawbridge there. And of course, by the way, we get stuck in traffic with the drawbridge because the thing goes up and there's a little boat going through. And so, see, you can get that. We started to get, it's like everything was working perfectly. Everything was on schedule. Everything was working. And now they won't let us in. And now we're going to go across the drawbridge. The drawbridge goes up. It's like these are little indications that God's giving you that the fun is over. The good times are over. It ain't going to happen. So we go to kind of a divey place that specializes in seafood, dipped in a lot of batter and deep fried. So so I paused when I said seafood because I'm taking it on faith that it was seafood. It could have been chicken McNuggets, to be honest. But it was very popular with the locals. And our driver loved the place. So we go over to this place. Hey, what worst place? They got a bar? You got a bar? You got a bar. Okay, we got a bar. We get a glass of wine. And we got a little, we were thinking, well, we were hungry. We were hungry. And we didn't know what kind of food was going to be at the Mar-A-Lago situation. So we figured, well, let's get some, like maybe some fish and chips or something, right? It's a deep fried seafood place, fish and chips. Interesting thing about Florida. See, up here in Annapolis, in the mid-Atlantic, you go to a seafood restaurant that specializes in the deep fried baskets of food that get served with French fries, and fish and chips is going to be on that menu. In fact, various different types of fish and chips. Not so much in West Palm Beach, Florida. All the seafood specializing in the deep fried fish and chips. Never heard of it. Who does he play for? So they did have a thing. They had an appetizer called dolphin fingers. I know. That's what I thought. Exactly what you said just now. I didn't know dolphins had fingers. Apparently, a dolphin finger, first of all, isn't even dolphin. They call another fish down there dolphin. What was it? Was it mahi-mahi? Which mahi-mahi is not dolphin. I believe it was mahi-mahi. Was it not? Anyone help me with that? Meredith was there. She'll tell me if she's listening, which I hope she's not. We had a little mahi-mahi. So basically it's like these little strips of mahi-mahi that have been dipped in batter, deep fried. It's like a little fish and chip, but they're smaller. But you get a basket of them. It's like, this is perfect. Cocktail sauce, tartar sauce. Fine, let's do that. So we get a basket of dolphin fingers. So we're eating our dolphin fingers. So we're dressed in the best part. We go into the restaurant. We go into the bar area. We figure we'll get a high top in the bar. We'll get a drink there and maybe a little appetizer. We go there. We sit down. We're there for like 5 to 10 minutes, virtually ignored. The bar is absolutely, it's a big, giant, where everybody knows your name kind of round bar area. And again, not in Mar-A-Lago. Mar-A-Lago adjacent. We are still not in Mar-A-Lago. That comes later. I promise. This is our big trip to Mar-A-Lago. So so giant, big old, sort of like a peninsula-shaped bar, long and round. I'll be honest, kind of phallic shape of the bar. If you did an overhead shot of the bar, kind of phallic. You get my drift. You see you get the picture I'm painting here. But every seat pretty much is full. Bartenders are busy. They're dealing with and some people are eating at the bar. They're drinking. They're doing things. We get a high top just off the bar, bar adjacent. Just like we never got to the bar, just like so far we have not gotten to Mar-A-Lago, which was the whole reason for the trip. We sit at the high top. Everyone's ignoring us. No one's because we're dressed like we're going to prom, right? Which we kind of are. Finally, we say, you know what? Here's the deal. Let's go back to the hostess. Sweet girl. Go back to the hostess, and we said we'll take a table instead, right? So we go to the hostess. Now there's people waiting out there, and it's going to be like 20 minutes. Like, we don't have time for that. But she said, well, would you like to eat outside? And I look, and they have this very nice patio. It's al fresco, as they said in the producers. You could eat al fresco. They have all these very nice little outdoor tables. It's Florida, and it's outdoors, and the sun is out, and it's like that's a delightful idea. We would love to sit outside as I'm looking at these lovely little tables in the outdoor patio cafe area. That would be fantastic. We will eat outside. Thank you so much, miss. And she said, yes, I can see you right away. So she then takes us in the opposite direction. The opposite direction from the delightful little patio right there that was right next to her. It was a much shorter walk. If she had just put us in those lovely little cafe tables al fresco on the patio out in front of the restaurant, it would have been just terrific. That's not where she took us. No, no, no. She turned and went the other way. And I kid you not, why would I make this up? She took us to a tented area in the parking lot. In the parking lot. They had created kind of a beer garden situation, and they had moved very similar high tops to the ones they had inside the restaurant where we sat and were ignored. And they put it there, put like it wasn't, I called it tented, as though they had caterers to create this lovely outdoor atmosphere on their asphalt blacktop. Yeah, I'm so sorry. It was not tented. It was, what do the kids like to call them? The easy ups. It was an easy up. It was like they were at the swap meet earlier in the day selling used clothes at the drive-in theater converted to a swap meet yard sale, and they had their easy up, and then they said, all right, well, it's time to go back to the restaurant, and they brought their easy up where they were selling their old clothes that didn't spark joy anymore from Marie Kondo, and now they were going to use the same easy up for their al fresco outdoor dining on the asphalt blacktop. So that's where we're sitting now, in our tux and our black velvet, lovely halter jumpsuit. And her hair looked like, Meredith's hair looked exquisite. I mean, it always does, but she put a lot of time into it. She had what I believe the kids are calling an updo. There's an updo, I believe. And we're looking great. And I believe we ordered some champagne, because why not? We got some champagne. We're doing it up. We're eating our dolphin fingers. Oh, it is so there you go. See, we have a confirmation from Sarah. It was in fact mahi mahi. Why didn't they just say mahi mahi fingers? Well, because that would be absurd. Everyone knows mahi mahi don't have fingers, but apparently dolphins do. Apparently that's a marketable thing. So we have our mahi-mahi fingers. We have our champagne. We're sitting in the parking lot of a seafood dive. And we are certainly not in Mar-A-Lago. All right. So we've killed about in fact, just to be safe, because we don't want to get turned away again. That would be mortifying, right? If we showed up early again. So we're staying about 40 minutes. I mean, all right, are we done here? I think we're done here. Okay. So we get our little Uber app, and we call for another Uber, right? And of course, we're going to Mar-A-Lago, so you can't do like, somebody showing up in a little beat up Prius and the little typical Uber rideshare thing, right? So we got, we went for the full Uber Black, baby. We want to show we were coming in style. And since it's only, about a 5-minute drive, because we are just on the outskirts of Mar-A-Lago, we figured, okay, so we'll do the Uber Black again. So we order our Uber Black, and I kid you not, it's the same guy who drove us. He actually waited in the parking lot at the seafood restaurant dive, I think because he wanted to see how this played out. I think he wanted to be a part of the story. So he dropped us off and just sat at the end of the parking lot, because when Meredith, generally we have Meredith do the Uber work because I don't like my name showing up on things. So she calls for Uber, and it says you've got a driver, and it shows where the driver is, and it was like just 100 yards away in the same parking lot where he just dropped us off. He was hanging out. Oh, hey, Susie. Susie listens every day on the way to work. I wondered what happens to you. Oh, you mean down in Mar-A-Lago? Well, you're hearing the Mar-A-Lago story now in detail, Susie. I talked a little bit about this on the air in DC, Susie. But yes, happened. Oh, thank you for correcting that. Susie, thank you for chiming in here. This is the long version of the short story I told on the air the next morning. So our Uber driver comes and gets us because we are also, by the way, in the parking lot eating and drinking champagne in our tuxedos, in our formals. All right. And we're just like, all right, time now. We're all full of dolphin fingers, right? We've eaten our fill of dolphin fingers. And I don't know, you ask anybody, they'll tell you, you have a good handful of dolphin fingers. Oh, wait, everyone. It's Chris Stigall. All right, hold that thought. We've just finished our dolphin fingers. Hey, Chris, I'm doing a live stream right now. And you're on speaker.
I would love to join you.
Uh-huh.
But the gerbil stopped running in the wheel.
Oh, I see. So you have no internet at all.
I don't. And now I've got a brand new MacBook that I tried to restart, and I locked myself out of it.
You're punishing me because I remember one time I was supposed to do your podcast and I had to cancel at the last minute. And you have a very long memory, like an elephant. Your memory is, and this is it.
My hair.
This is pay. You have to watch exactly. This is payback. You son of a. All right.
I really wanted to be there. I'm sorry. Let me figure this out, and I want to rejoin you. If not in progress, then
you know what? I don't want to listen. I don't want to stress you out. You do need to fix your internet because you have a radio show to do tomorrow. Waking up the good people of Philadelphia. You might want to prioritize that, and we will. You and I will do our thing another day. All right? Because I want to have a lot of time with it. Don't be sorry at all, Chris. It's fine. It's fine. It's
short form, Larry.
Shit, this is going to be. Oh yeah. All right, everyone, say goodbye to Chris.
Goodbye, everyone. I'm sorry, guys.
Look, there he is. There's Chris Stigall right there. All right, you can watch it. You know what? Why don't you just join on YouTube when you get home? You'll love it. Oh, he's gone. He already hung up. You're stuck with me. So we're full of our. You ask anybody. You have about 5 fingers of dolphin fingers, and you're satiated. Just give me a handful of fingers, and I'm good until my next meal. Right. So we loaded up on our dolphin fingers, which was really mahi-mahi. And we get our Uber guy who was right there waiting for us in the exact same parking lot where we were dining al fresco. And we said, Holmes, take us to Mar-A-Lago. Just a tie. I'm feeling like the Monopoly man. I adjusted my monocle. Take us to Mar-A-Lago. It's time for our big shot red carpet event with all the stars. All my friends who were stars too. That was the best part. It's like we never get to hang out and get together. And it's like they're much more famous than I am, but it's nice to be in their circle, right? I was looking forward to seeing everybody. I say in past tense, a little foreshadowing. So we drive around and then there's a lot of traffic now. See, we had arrived early to beat the traffic. And as you know, if you've been paying attention, we were denied that opportunity. And so we now are stuck in a ton of traffic trying to get into the aforementioned Mar-A-Lago. But there it is. It's gorgeous. It's looming. It's like it's, mysterious sort of Valhalla, sort of situation. And we wait in line and we get up and everyone's like passing through and they're doing the check. And we know the security guard. He knows us because, we were early and we couldn't get in. And so we get up there and we roll down the windows and they sorry, how's it going? I say, yes, it's Larry O'Connor. Which, part of me is like, hello, don't you recognize me? Right? It's me. Larry O'Connor. No, not really a thing for me. So I say it's Larry O'Connor. We're here for the event at this moment. And he does the thing. He does the thing on the clipboard. Was it a clipboard? Or I think they may have had iPads. I think they may have had iPads. So he's scrolling. It's like he could have been on Tinder for all I know. He's scrolling. And you know when you give your name at an event and you realize at a certain point, before they say anything, you realize that it's taken a little too long for them to say, right this way, Mr. O'Connor. There is a moment where everyone knows. Yes, it was an iPad. It was absolutely an iPad. Thank you. We have confirmation now. I love that Meredith, who is watching and listening elsewhere in the house, she is not signed on, so she does not. So she's telling Sarah what to say to be included here. Tommy, Tommy concurs that it was an iPad. All right. Oh, hello, Jessica. Jessica, what fingers and Jen? Yeah, you've had dolphin fingers before, Jessica? I've never had a dolphin finger before. Do they have those in Southern California? I guess those there would be a porpoise finger. Porpoises are much more popular. All right. So in California. So he's doing the iPad thing, and I realize it has taken too long. And before I can say something or ask a question, he looks up and asks, obviously, the question that we all get asked. Could it be under any other name? Could it be under any? And I think to myself, well, actually, yes, it actually could. Because this is a formal professional event where you have to give all your information and birth date and all that stuff. So I said, actually, it could be under Lawrence O'Connor. If you didn't know, that is actually my legal name. I am Lawrence O'Connor. I go by Larry. Because I don't want to get confused with Lawrence O'Donnell, right? That would be embarrassing. So we're back to the iPad, and we're back to Tinder. And Ray's like, oh, no, she looks too skanky. No, she's not skanky enough. He's doing his Tinder thing. He goes through the iPad scroll, and he finds this. Any other name? So now I'm like, and I could feel Meredith next to me, just sort of a, so I give it the other thing that always ends up happening, by the way. This is a typical thing that I have to deal with all my life. I say, well, my name is spelled with an apostrophe, but sometimes computer systems can't accommodate the apostrophe. So sometimes people leave out the apostrophe, or sometimes people will just put a space, or sometimes people will put a comma because they're ignorant and they don't know what an apostrophe is or where to find it on the keyboard. So it could be any of those combinations. He said, desperately praying that somehow somebody did that with my last name. No, I already dated her. No, she gave me a disease, and I'm going to... Oh, I gave her a disease. Can't do that, so scrolling, doing the Tinder thing. Sir, could you pull the car up right over here? Because everyone... Now we're getting the behind as I'm sitting there. Could you pull the car up over here so we can let, some of the actual invited guests in? And you just bring the car right over here. So we bring the car over there, and then the supervisor comes over. She's got her iPad. I'm assuming it has the same information, but you never know. There could be a superior iPad for the really special people who are on the elite list. They did the scrolling again. I'm not on the list. So this is a Secret Service event, right? Because we got a former president here. Secret Service event, and you had to get the Secret Service clearance. You had to make sure that you're in and everything's going fine. And I wasn't on the list. So they said, well, listen, you're not on the list. We don't see you anywhere. If you want, you can make a phone call to whoever arranged this for you, whoever invited you, and you can take some time here to sort of sort this out. But, not on the list, you're not getting in. And so here's the thing. And I called, the people who had invited me, which was, at a pretty high level within the film production company. This is for Dinesh D'Souza's 2000 Mules, which is a fine movie, by the way. No reflection on Dinesh or the producers or the film itself. But I called the person who invited us, and he said, oh my gosh, this is terrible. Let me see what I can do, but I don't know if I can do anything. Because here's the thing. I mean, at any other event, at any other time, in any other place, with any other guests, for the most part, the person who's running the party, the person who's in charge can just say, oh, yeah, I don't know how you didn't get on the list, but go ahead and let him in. I know that. I used to do event man. I used to do shows. I used to do that. That's how you do it. This, however, is a Secret Service protected event. That doesn't happen. In fact, President Trump could come down there and start yelling at me like the kid who was mowing the lawn at the White House, And he could say, yeah, O'Connor's fine, let him in. And the Secret Service would say, with all due respect, sir, he's not going anywhere. Like Trump himself could say that I was fine, and the Secret Service would not let me in. And that's exactly what happened. Here was our visit to Mar-A-Lago. We drove into the driveway, pulled over for a while, and then drove around the circular driveway, past the door, past the path that led to the pool where the cocktail party was that we could see for about 2.5 seconds, and then out the back gate. We were on the Mar-A-Lago property for a good 9 to 10 minutes. Well, the vehicle, the Uber, and of course the Uber driver, as we're driving out, he goes, exactly what I thought, because he just wants to see this thing through. He's driving out, he goes, well, this is a first for me, says the Uber driver. And I'm like, really? Happens to me all the time. So we go over. The person who had invited us said that he said, give me 10 minutes. Let me see what I can do. I'll see what I can. And we know he can't do anything. But he said, give us some time. So we wait in a parking lot, again, adjacent, a good block away from Mar-A-Lago, which is really the whole story. When everyone's, hey, you went down to Mar-A-Lago. We're like, well, yeah, ish. I mean, we were in the vicinity. We were. We waited in the parking lot for a good 10 minutes. Finally, I just gave him a text. I said, I know this isn't going to happen. Don't worry. Everything's fine. We go back to our room. We get changed into comfortable clothing. Meredith still looks exquisite. I look halfway decent, I have to say. We find a fantastic Italian restaurant a block away from our hotel where we ate outside, but in a proper way, not in a actually lovely restaurant. We had a great night. I start going to Twitter and I start scrolling to see all my friends, who are posting pictures of the party that they're having, that we were invited to, that we flew down to Florida for. And long story short, we didn't get in. What's interesting, though, is what I heard later. And the next day, we had a great day. We actually had lunch with Trump's comms team at the Trump International Golf Course. They felt really bad, too, about the whole thing. So we got to go to the golf club. We had lunch with the comms team, just us and one other reporter. And that was very private, very great one-on-one time with their sort of inner circle in the press and communications department. And we're at the golf course, beautiful golf course, right? We went out for drinks later at a hotel with Jesse Kelly and Dave Reboy and Carol Markowitz and Ann Coulter and a bunch of other. And by the way, Ann was not at Mar-A-Lago. She just happened to be in the neighborhood. I don't think she's invited to Mar-A-Lago these days. They're not anyway. But it was a great time. We're having drinks and reading. We had a fantastic time. We're glad we went. It was great. But the one reason and only reason that we dropped everything to adjust our schedules and do our show from a hotel room was to go to West Palm Beach to watch the movie at Mar-A-Lago. And that never happened. But the next day when I was talking to my friends and we're seeing what happened, apparently the whole cocktail party at poolside that was supposed to happen for about an hour and a half, it ended up being 2.5 hours because Trump was late. And so everybody's outside in the Florida sun in their tuxes and gowns in the heat. And they're eating their appetizers, and of course it's free flowing alcohol, which usually is a good thing, but in this case it was started everyone was getting a little loopy and hot and sweaty and tired. I guess let me put it this way: if you're going to see a movie, you want it to be air conditioned and caffeinated. So the audience is on fire, right? I used to do entertainment and theater and events and premieres, and you want everyone on the edge of their seat. And the way you do that is to keep them cold and wired. And these guys were hot, drunk, and sluggish. And so Trump is an hour late or an hour and a half late. I can't remember how late they told us he was. He gets there, he delivers the remarks. The movie itself doesn't start, I think, until 9. Now, my friends, I'm usually asleep by 9, or at the very least in bed by 9, and drowsy and fading, right? If I had been, and so then the movie, and it's I wouldn't have gotten out of there till 11:30 or 12. And I got to be up at 4:15 the next morning, and not happening. So we would not probably, knowing that we would have stayed for Trump's speech. The lights go down for the movie, and we'd be like, we got to go. We got to get out of here. We wouldn't have been able to stay. it would have been great to go to the party, and it would have been fun, and it would have and it would have been a story. It would have been a fine story. Would it have been as good as this story? I don't think so. I honestly don't think so. Yes, Larry Hedman, exactly. I got a great story out of it. And the next morning on the air, because I had told everybody, hey, tomorrow we'll be live from Mar-A-Lago, so everybody, every half hour when I would reintroduce the show after the news break, I'd say, it's O'Connor and Company, Larry O'Connor live from Mar-A-Lago, well, right outside the gates of Mar-A-Lago. I'd paint the picture for the listeners. I was actually sitting on the grass on the curb with a cardboard side just outside the gates of Mar-A-Lago. Because we didn't really get there. But that was, so it's been busy. So with all of that going on, when was that? Was that last week or the week before last? And then we had visitors and a lot of it. There have been a ton of political events because it's political season right now in Maryland and Northern Virginia. I've moderated 2 debates and hosted the Republican convention in Montgomery County, Maryland. We've had 2 political fundraisers in the last 3 days here in one in Virginia and one in Maryland. It's very, very busy and crazy. So I have not been able to do many live streams to catch you guys up on everything. So there you go. Now you're caught up on our big adventure down to Florida. As you heard from Stigall, we will reschedule our long form interview with him. Hopefully maybe Monday or Tuesday of next week. Let's plan that. I think we have a book club book next week where we will interview the author of Falling. But we're having trouble working out that schedule. If we don't do that, we're going to have Julio Rosas, who's the author of a brand new book, Fiery, but mostly peaceful. That's his book about covering all the riots, the BLM riots and Antifa riots of 2020. So we're going to have Julio on. So we got a bunch of live streams that we're lining up so we can catch up on those that we missed over the last several weeks. Oh, and I also was part of the Dave Rubin live event in DC, I think 2 weeks ago with Meghan McCain, and both of them have agreed to do a locals page. So listen, a lot of the stuff that I just laid out for you, if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, a lot of it is only going to be live through our locals page. So if you're not already there, just join. You don't have to pay anything. Just join in so you can get the notifications of all this stuff. And then I'll give you a promo code so you can get, I think, 1 or 2 or 3 months free. I can't remember how the promo codes work. But just get over there at LarryO'Connor.locals.com and join that, because that's a growing little concern. It's the OC, and everything is sort of free from the social media monsters that try to censor everything that we're doing. So that is my story. That's how we got here from there. And I'll open up the floor if you guys have any questions. Oh, Meredith's phone is dead. Why is Meredith's phone dead, Tommy? Did it run out of battery? That's weird. Or did she actually break her phone? That's not good. Oh, Jessica, so you've never had dolphin fingers? Yeah, that would be bizarre. It was mahi fingers is what it was. Basically, it's like when you say chicken McNuggets. Oh, I didn't know chickens had nuggets. It's the same thing with a mahi. Oh, Holly Bacon had to leave. Well, that is so sweet that Holly Bacon was here. For those of you who go all the way back to the Stage Right show on Breitbart TV and Blog Talk Radio, Holly Bacon was one of the OG listeners and participants in that whole thing. How sweet to see Holly here after all this time. Scott Rivette, are you down in West Palm Beach? Heather Hunter is calling me. That's my producer for the radio show. But I don't think I can take that call right now because it's probably, private. Is she trying to oh, hang on. Oh gosh, so that's very funny. That Heather Hunter, Derek Hunter's wife, who is the producer of our morning radio program. I'd like to talk about, it's been so busy. It's been hard to do live streams and all these things. And because we've been doing this and doing that. And I forgot, kind of a big story that's happened in the last several weeks too. That would be the firing of one of my co-hosts on my show. Perhaps you heard about it. Amber, I'm not laughing that she got fired. I'm laughing that I sort of slipped my mind that we haven't really touched base on that either. Yeah, Amber Athey, of course. I'm sure you saw. She did a lot of media after she was dismissed, not by me, but my parent company, Cumulus Media. Amber Athey was dismissed for a tweet about Kamala Harris. The whole UPS brown suit thing. Controversy. I'm sure you saw her on Tucker, or you saw. Well, listen, she was everywhere, so I'm sure you saw that story. Yeah, that happened too. So things have been a little hectic, as you can imagine. I think I posted some articles about that on Locals, but I didn't actually post I didn't do any live streams since then. So we're back now. We have things to talk about. It looks like Heather was calling me because she had sent a text about a possible fill-in host for Amber's slot in the next couple of weeks, and so we're dealing with that right now too. So anyway, there you go. Scott Rivette is answering my question about West Palm Beach. Live in Dumfries. Families lived there since the mid-70s. West Palm Beach is phenomenal. A lot of New Yorkers there, though, Scott. So Scott is one of our local Dumfries. That's here in the D.C. area. They call it the DMV for those of you who aren't here. I don't like it because it reminds me of my California days standing in line to get my license, the DMV, but it's DC, Maryland, Virginia. That's what they're trying to make that work. Susie says that dolphin fish is a fish and it's ugly. You don't want to say. I have seen that. Yeah, the dolphin fish. But no, in this case, it was mahi mahi. They on the menu it said dolphin fingers. I guess like chicken fingers, right? They take chicken, but they weren't as big as a chicken finger. I mean the dish chicken, but chicken fingers are chicken strips, right? Anyway, you get the point. But these were mahi mahi fingers, and they were just little strips of mahi mahi meat that were breaded and fried. And so it would make sense that it was mahi mahi fingers, but they called them dolphin fingers. And I don't think mahi mahi are dolphin fish, are they? No, they're not. Anyway, we'll continue this for another 5 or 10 minutes. We were going to go for about an hour and a half tonight with our Chris Stigall interview, but since it's just me doing a stream of conscious conversation about my disastrous trip to Mar-A-Lago. By the way, the trip to West Palm Beach, Florida was fantastic. We had a great time. It was delightful. And you know, the worst day of your life in West Palm Beach, Florida, still a pretty good day. Not a bad day. We kept telling ourselves that. So the trip to Florida was fantastic. Trip to Mar-a-Lago, not so much. I don't think we'll be coming back. I don't think we'll be invited back. So we'll probably go for another 5 or 10 minutes. If you guys have any questions, if you want anything to chime in on or engage in, if you have any questions, in the meantime, if you don't, we'll just wrap things up. If you do, join the locals page, LarryO'Connor.locals.com, because we post a bunch of content, a bunch of articles there. You get a rundown of the morning show every day, so you can see all the stories we talked about and all of the links to the articles. It's basically all the backup and all the show references that we use each morning to get through all the segments that we do over the course of the 4 hours. It's pretty good data, pretty good information. A lot of times when we're on the air and we talk about a story and we reference an article and things like that, people always send us emails and say, what was that article, where can I find it? Well, this is where you find it. Every single morning we post all of our show stuff, and that's exclusive to our locals page. So right there is just worth being a part of the OC community there on locals. But then for a subscription, you actually get a lot of value added stuff, and again, all of these interviews and live streams that are private one-on-one stuff that we're going to be doing right now. We're putting it out there on YouTube and Facebook, but very soon we're going to make it locals only. So just join over there. And there's a bunch of other great people on locals too. That you can interact with and see. And there's two different ways to do locals. One way is to just, for free, you just sign up and you treat it like Facebook. You treat it like any other social media platform, and you can friend and join various communities for various people like Kurt Schlichter, Dan Bongino, Dave Rubin, Dinesh D'Souza, Tulsi Gabbard, Kira Davis. I guess Tony Katz is out there too, if you know him. Anyway, you join those communities, you can see all the stuff they're doing, and then some stuff is for members only, for subscribers only, and you'll see that. But just join and you'll see. We actually don't do a lot of stuff that's for subscribers only. We should, but I don't care about that right now. I just want to create this community that you can all do. So you should do that. How was Larry? I was just sort of saying that she's doing great. Oh, I guess I was just saying that she got fired. She's doing great. She's started her own podcast on YouTube that she's doing. It's already like shooting up the ranks at Apple for podcasts. Because listen, Amber Athey's a star. She's still writing at Spectator. She's still doing great work. She's doing a lot of TV hits now that she was back in the news, right? Because nothing better than getting fired to get yourself in the news again. So she's doing that. I encourage everybody to subscribe. I'm hopefully going to be a guest on her YouTube podcast at some point soon. That will be fun. And she's doing great, and she's in good spirits. Last time I traded text messages with her, she seems to be in pretty good spirits, and I wish she was back. I wish she were back on the show. She's great. She's wonderful. That's why we hired her in the first place, because she's a rising star, and that's that. Susie is drinking wine with us. Absolutely. We're drinking rosé. We pretty much just start drinking rosé around May 1st, and it's mostly rosé for the rest of the summer. So thank you, Susie. Yes, I am the unofficial wine ambassador to the wine country because Glenn Youngkin granted me that title, sort of, after he won. You know how when presidents become president, they then pay off their political favors by giving people meaningless positions and titles, or making them an ambassador to a country that really doesn't matter. Right. It's like you're not going to pay off a political contributor or supporter by making them ambassador to, Ukraine, right? Or Israel. These are strategically important countries that actually require professional diplomats. But I could be ambassador to the Lower Antilles, right? That's a gig. Yeah, it's because you donated a bunch of money to the campaign, and now you get to basically live in a nice house in the Caribbean for 4 years as the ambassador to the Lower Antilles. So when I helped Larry Hogan win the governorship in Maryland, he made me the crab cake czar of Maryland, right? Yes, Larry Hedman, exactly. I still am. I am the crab cake czar for 7 more months now. It'll be up in November. Well, I guess technically in January when the new governor comes in. So Larry Hogan made me the crab cake czar of Maryland because he would not have won if it weren't for me. And of course, Glenn Youngkin would not have won the governorship of Virginia if it weren't for me. And he has made me he hasn't, it bothers me because he hasn't actually, I've asked him like 3 times now and he dodges. He's already weaseling out on me. This is how they do. But I've just decided to claim it. I am the ambassador to Virginia's wine country. And I'm doing some research right now. Not bad. It's wet, it's cold, it tastes nice, and it has alcohol. What more do you want in a wine? What, you want to know what the nose is, what the finish is, what the hints of citrus? It's wet, it's cold, it tastes good, it's got alcohol. Not necessarily in that order. What do you want? All right. No, not the wine god. There are no wine gods. We're not polytheists anymore, Tommy. I told you about that. We converted. Not the wine gods. All right. Are we good? Well, you guys have any last chance for questions here? And we will move on. That's correct. Let's go. We're going to go. Very sorry that the long form Larry 90-minute interview throwdown with Chris Stigall did not materialize. As you just heard from Chris Stigall himself, 100% his fault. But I appreciate you guys joining us anyway tonight. I hope it's been okay for you. We will make it up to you with the interview, but at least we had a nice conversation. You heard my Mar-a-Lago story, and you, of course, know that I am a lifelong Washington Commanders fan. I was first on board the Washington Commanders wagon. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for continuing your ongoing support of our Facebook page is like super growing. Thank you. You saw Sarah earlier. Sarah has been doing such great work on our Facebook page, and we've grown like 20% just in the last 8 months. Over 5,000 viewers. Share that stuff if you can, and like I said, join our locals if you can, and subscribe to our YouTube page, please, because we're going to be doing stuff across all 3 of those platforms all year long, and it's going to be good stuff. You're going to like it. All right. And we're going to start doing some live streams daily on locals only. We're going to be doing sort of a daily special segment that would not on the radio, just for locals. And so you're going to want to be a part of that too. So look for those email notifications from the locals page, and that's just for members of our locals community. Live stream. Sometimes we'll do some interaction chats and things like that. Like, follow, and subscribe. That's what the kids like to say. Your wife will ask for an update. Well, now, how are the kids doing? I didn't meet the first one. All right. That's a very valid question to ask, Larry, and I should give you a quick, succinct answer to that, and then we'll call it a day. Quinn, our oldest, is now 22 years old. For all of you long timer, you first met Quinn when she was 12 or 11, I think, was the first time we talked about Quinn here. Back in the Breitbart days. Quinn is 22 years old, and she graduates in 3 weeks from UCLA with a theater degree and a disability studies minor. She is and that graduation is mid-June from the School of Theater, Film, and Television at UCLA, but she's actually in New York right now because she's already got a job. She's got a 2.5 week, a 3 week job that she's working for the Public Theater on a project as their production stage manager. The Public is the theater that produced Hamilton originally, by the way. It's a great gig. And so she's already working. She's got another show lined up already to be a stage manager for in August, September, October up in Massachusetts. So we're very excited for her. In fact, Meredith and I are going to swing up this weekend in New York just to see her and hang out with her a bit. She graduates in June. Veronica, literally, I think either today or tomorrow is the last academic day of her 3rd year at the Naval Academy. So basically, as of the end of this month, she will be what they call a midshipman first class at the United States Naval Academy, which is a fancy way of saying she's a senior. Next year is her graduation year. She graduates. She's in the class of 2023. She's her last day of finals, I think, is today or tomorrow. And then she's got a very busy summer lined up with her Naval Academy duties. And she has already decided she is early selected. Usually you find out what your service assignment is going to be and what your career path will be in the Navy or the Marines in October. But she actually qualified early some candidates and some students actually qualify early for a service selection if they're uniquely qualified. In other words, if they're really good, and she's really good, she is early selected for submarines. So her career will be in the submarines. She'll be under the sea. So Veronica's doing great, and she will be a senior next year. Christian, our oldest son, is now 17. Oh, Veronica's 20. Christian is 17. He is finishing his junior year in high school, and he's kicking butt and playing men's volleyball. He's the captain of the varsity volleyball team at his high school. For you East Coasters, on the West Coast, volleyball and water polo are basically the equivalent of your lacrosse insanity here in the Mid-Atlantic and the East Coast. And he's a great volleyball player. He loves it. And as of now, his first choice for college is the Naval Academy. So that would be really cool if he got in, and we'd basically have 8 years. There will be no overlap. His senior year in high school is her senior year in college. So when she graduates the Naval Academy, he'll graduate high school, and if everything goes to plan, based on what he wants, not what I want, he might be going to the Naval Academy too. That would be cool. And then EJ is doing fantastic. He's now 15. He's freshman in high school. We homeschool EJ. He is on the autism spectrum. His communication skills are getting great. He's still nonverbal. He spells and communicates through his iPad, but he also uses a touch type app and also spells words and can spell on his keyboard. But he's also working a lot with speech therapy and articulation. He really does want to speak, and we're working with him on his speech quite a bit. So he's doing great. And he's playing the piano and playing the drums and just doing incredible things. Things that when we first started our show, I'm going to get all emotional now. When we started doing our live stream show with Andrew Breitbart back in the day with the Stage Right show in 2010, EJ was just 3 years old. In fact, I remember doing a show the night that he was actually diagnosed on the autism spectrum. I remember talking about all of our questions and the mystery and our concerns and our worries and that whole journey. And, when you find out your 3-year-old is on the autism spectrum and it starts to play out before your eyes, and and so many of the developmental benchmarks, he's our 4th child, right? So we sort of had been through it with our 3 oldest kids. We knew the developmental benchmarks that were typical for a typical kid. And when you see how delayed a child on the autism spectrum often is in so many of the fundamentals, oftentimes they excel in other areas of development, but it's such a worrying moment because you don't know. There's so much mystery. There's still mystery. He's 15 years old, and I don't know what he'll be able to do and what he'll be able to be capable of, and whether he'll be able to live on his own and things like that. We don't know. But what we do know is he's doing things that I never dreamed of 6 years ago, 5 years ago, when we had that communications breakthrough with his spelling ability. That was huge. And the things have progressed big time. And so anyway, that's the latest with EJ, and he's just our joy and wonderful. And that's our 4 kids, and they're all doing great. And Meredith is the greatest stepmother you will ever see. What an incredible woman to take all of this on, and me, and immediately become the mother of 4 children already well on their way.
she's amazing. Anyway, there's your answer, Larry. I'm glad you asked. That's the only reason I would have extended this as long as I did, to talk about my kids. All right, enough of that. I got to get some sleep. We're live tomorrow. Patrice Onwuka will be the co-host tomorrow morning on O'Connor and Company, and I don't even know who our guests are yet, but you'll find out in the morning. We'll see you at 5 a.m., and we'll see you at our next live stream, you guys. Thank you so much again for being here, and go to Facebook and Twitter, find Chris Stigall, and give him shit. Give him as much shit as you possibly can for tonight. All right, bye, guys. See you.